Previously we got an update in that one server which is 1.6.08. In this update, lot of MMs like irithel, moskov, Hanabi, Natan and all got buffed because recently the pick rate of MM really went low. And why it went low? Because no one is picking it in high rank level. So developer decided to give buff to the MM so that they could able to push back its pick rate. So we're gonna talk about what are the buff they gave to which MM. So let's get started. There is a buff on Natan. Before they removed the penetration conversion completely, but now you can able to convert the physical penetration to magical penetration at the rate of 50%. So no matter what penetration item you use, either physical or magical, it will provide the penetration effect to you. They also slightly increase the range of his ultimate skill. And if your ultimate got cancelled, cooldown will be refunded according to your usage of your ultimate. It's a quite good buff for Nathan. Still we gotta wait and see whether they are changing it further or not. Next is a buff on Clint. Developer wanted to increase his clearing ability and reduce the damage of his bullet when there is only a single target. So basically they wanted him to do good at the goal lane. So they slightly reduced his physical attack bonus from 95% to 85%. But they increased the damage of his each bullet slightly, and also they increased his range of basic attack from 4.5 to 4.8. So now you can able to reach out more range compared to before. But still I think mobility is a Clint's problem. They have to look into that. Next is a buff on moskov. To make him more efficient, they reduced the mana cost of his first skill 15 points in all level. And also they increased his range of basic attack and second skill from 4.1 to 4.4. Actually range is a crucial thing for MM. That's why they are increasing the range of all MM in order to provide them a buff. And also they increased his physical attack bonus at 60% in all level. And now his ultimate have more damage compared to before. Next is a buff on irithel. As any other MM, for irithel also they increased the attack range from 4.9 to 5.2. And also they removed the bug where the irithel's damage was lower when she attacked while moving. Now she can able to auto attack the enemy while moving around. They also increased the casting speed of her second skill, and also they increased its range of 20%. So it sounds like a good buff, but I'm not sure how it's going to survive in the official server among the other metas. Next is a buff on Hanabi. They reduced her first skill damage ratio from 50% to 40%. Her shield and her attack speed will be the same, but they changed the damage ratio alone. And they reduced the cooldown of her second skill from 12 to 7 seconds to 8 to 6 seconds. Not only that, they increased her physical damage 50 points in initial level and 100 points in maximum level. It's already a pretty big buff for Hanabi, but it's still not ending there. Now they increased the Hanabi ultimate damage 200 points in all level. I think at last they bought justice for this underrated MM. Next is a buff on Brody. Like any other MM, they increased his basic attack range from 4.6 to 4.9. And also they increased his physical attack 35 points in all level. But they reduced his ultimate damage based on the stacks slightly. And also there is an adjustment on his passive. Hereafter his abyss mark no longer applies to the creeps. I think they are pushing every MM to do as a side lane, especially at the goal lane. As you can see in all this adjustment, they are just separating MMs from taking the creeps. So technically they are making MM to play as a side lane. So it's kind of bad news for the MM players. I my own itself am an MM player. So it's a pretty big bad news for me. Next is a buff on wanwan. They basically providing extra damage for her passive. If you marked the enemy with all the weakness, aka all the marks, your passive will provide extra 30 to 40% of damage. But to compensate that, they reduced her ultimate damage 5 points in all level. I don't know whether should I call it as a buff or a nerf. They are calling it as a buff, but all I see is a nerf. Next is a buff on karrie. Developers actually adjusted her first skill. Her spear will stop upon the enemy if it is hitting one. So if you are throwing your first skill, the spear won't pass your enemy to their backside. It will stop right there where they are standing and it will create the damage. And also they increased her ultimate damage ratio 5% in the initial level and 10% in the maximum level. I feel like it's a good buff for karrie. So what do you think about this update? Do you think Mlbb will rise again in this update? Do let me know in the comment section. See you until the next video. Stay safe and thank you for watching.